Welcome to our kitchen. Today we prepare medieval lumonia, a sweet and sour chicken stew with oranges, from Anonimo Fiorentino's cookbook, written in the 14th century. We start with ingredients. We need chicken, oranges, dates, sloes, unpeeled almonds, white pepper, saffron, cinnamon, and sugar. Sloe grows wild in many places in Europe, but can be difficult to find elsewhere. They have a peculiar flavor, sour, slightly bitter, sweet and aromatic. If you don't have them, use plums, preferably a wild variety. We pound the almonds in the mortar, dilute them with water, and pass them through a sieve. Then we soak the saffron in warm water. We grind the white pepper, cinnamon and sugar in the mortar. We pit the dates and cut them in half. We cut the chicken into pieces and the oranges into 4 parts. In our preparation we used 4 dates, about 30 grams of dried sloes, 2 oranges and 100 grams of almonds. Lumonia or limonia is the Italian version of a dish that originates in the Arabic tradition, although the recipe changes in the Italian cookbooks. Instead of lemon, which gives the name to the dish, we find oranges and sloes. Although other versions, such as the one in the Liber de Cucina, also recommend lemon or lumia as options. The chicken is prepared with pork fat instead of olive oil, differently from an Arabic recipe found in Al-Waraq's cookbook, written in the 10th century, which adds other ingredients such as coriander seeds, chickpeas, cucumber, mint, and roux. Anonimo Meridionale also offers a lean version of this recipe, with fish instead of meat and olive oil instead of pork fat. Anonimo Fiorentino's recipe is complex, so we simplified it a little. For example, by stir-frying the chicken directly without parboiling it. The result wasn't very different. There are no instructions on the type of oranges to choose. We only know from sources such as Michele Savonarola's book on dietetics that in the late Middle Ages there were different types of oranges, sweet, sour, and with an intermediate taste. If you want your lumonia to have a distinctive sour and bitter taste, choose sour oranges. But in any case, feel free to experiment with the ingredients as you like. The author only mentions saffron and writes to add sweet and fine spices, which according to Anonimo Veneziano include cloves, ginger, cinnamon, Indian bay leaves, pepper, and saffron. We cook the chicken and oranges with lard. Then we add the spices and sugar, almond milk, dates, sloes, and saffron. The cooking time changes depending on the size of the chicken. We cooked it for about 40 minutes. Then we served the chicken and the sauce separately, as recommended by the author. To learn more about meat throughout history, read our new book, Early Italian Recipes, Meat, Meatballs and Sausages, which collects 108 recipes from the antiquity to the end of the Renaissance, for fresh and cured meat, including roasts, stews, steaks, and many other historical preparations. In addition to the recipes selected from primary sources, you'll find the chapters dedicated to the methods to preserve meat, animal farming, dietetic theories and their relationship to culinary practice, and much more. The book is the third in the series Early Italian Recipes. The previous volumes are dedicated to vegetables and cereals in the history of Italian cuisine. The books are independent and can be read in any order. If you want to know more about medieval cooking, Read our translations, Registrum Cocuina Medieval Cookbook, and Libro della Cucina Medieval Tuscan Recipes. More translations of primary sources and articles about historical food can be found on our Patreon page. In the description below, you'll find a list of our books on historical cooking, along with the links to buy us a beer and purchase our merchandise to support our work. This Lumonia was incredible, with a complex sweet and sour flavor, given by the acidity of oranges and sloes, perfectly blended with the heat of pepper and the sweetness of dates, saffron, cinnamon and sugar. A delicious way to try a typical medieval meat preparation, which would also be perfect for a special occasion, such as a Christmas dinner, accompanied by other traditional medieval dishes that are still prepared today with small variations, such as meat ravioli or macaroni siciliani. You'll find the links to the recipes in the description below. If you're interested in ancient foods and flavors, subscribe our channel and consider supporting us on Patreon.